education into childhood poverty in Cincinnati. We've been showing you something that many people in middle and upper class neighborhoods never experience.
It's called student mobility. Kids moving from school to school, impacting their learning. Local 12's Jeff Hirsch started his story on the first day of school at Carson Elementary in West Price Hill. And now he wraps things up on the last day of school.
On the day after school ended, as teachers cleaned out their classrooms for the summer, the reality of high student turnover in the inner city was not far behind.
This past week of school, I had 3 fifth graders that were withdrawn for family reasons.
That's the last week of school, same week with just 3 days left in the year.
Yes, we had a new student enroll in 4th grade.
Such is the reality of urban education. Student mobility is directly connected to poverty. Parents get laid off or evicted, families move and move again. It makes learning tougher because student lives in low-income neighborhoods are tougher.
It's stressful. We are probably the most consistent thing that they have seen this past 180 some days. So I don't know what the answer is outside of school, but we can do what we can inside. That's about it.
We followed student mobility at Carson Elementary in Price Hill for the entire year, from the first day of school in August
okay, good morning, come on in.
To the last day of school in May.
So on this last day, we're going to read, we're going to think about what we're reading, and then we're going to answer some questions about it.
Specifically, we covered 5th grade, where Margie DiMuzio is the lead teacher for 4 classes, around 100 kids.
What are some things that it tells you that they don't have?
And 1st grade, where Kim Keeman is part of a 2-classroom team, about 50 students.
Good job. Good reading.
On day 1, we asked each teacher what kind of turnover they expected by day 180. Their predictions, obviously based on experience, were nearly perfect.
By the end of the school year, probably a third of my class. At least a third of the students will probably have left. And throughout the year, we had 32 students moving in and out at all different times.
I would almost real quickly say half of the students go. They come and go, and it's extremely disheartening. Our turnover rate was just about 50%, which is what I think I said at the beginning of the year.
One good thing, DiMuzio says she's seeing some students stay longer at Carson, say 2 or 3 years instead of 2 or 3 months. But unlike an affluent suburban school, the odds of a student staying in Carson all the way from pre-K to grade 6 are slim.
There's probably less than 20% of our kids that will stay in the school from the time they enroll until the time they leave to move on to middle school.
But teachers like Margie DiMuzio and Kim Keeman don't use high student turnover as an excuse. It's just reality. They deal with it. In fact, they kind of relish the challenge.
It's students that are faced with so many things, and you get them somewhere. And they're small victories, and they're great.
And when you look at this, you're probably thinking, yeah, that's a lot of words. I can't do it, but yes, you can.
Absolutely. We don't, they're our responsibility. They're our kids. And when they come in, they just become a part of us.
It would be nice to imagine that when school opens here in the fall, the poverty which permeates this neighborhood, which surrounds this building, will be gone, and you won't have the issues of students moving from one school to another to another. It'd be nice to imagine that, but the reality is that's not going to happen. And before you know it, summer will be over. Margie DiMuzio will return, starting her 42nd year as a teacher.
I enjoy the time off, but I'll be ready to go in the fall.
Kim Keeman, however, is leaving Carson, moving to Oilers School in Lower Price Hill to supervise adult volunteers who mentor children. It's not the burbs, it's another inner city school with high mobility. You go where the need is greatest.
And that's what I tell all the teachers. You make it, you did it, you had successes, now move forward. And it makes you a stronger, better person for what you do.
That's good advice for students, too, wherever they end up. Next school year starts August 16th.
And that's what you're going to have to do as you go into 2nd grade. You read it, you think about it, you enjoy it.
Jeff Hirsch, Local 12 News.
Because the school year just ended, we do not have the most recent turnover rate for the entire Cincinnati Public School District. However, for the 2015-16 school year, the mobility rate citywide was 16%. So clearly some schools have more stable populations. But schools like Carson have a much higher rate of students coming and going.